All right, my friends, welcome back to Frog Boy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to talk about the 9070 XT and the 9070. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, if you know, in 2 days, we're going to find out what the new RDNA 4 GPUs are actually capable of. Rumors are putting them at like 4080 power for the 9070 XT at the $500 to $600 range, and then they are also talking about the 9070 coming in at the 4070 Ti Super slash 7900 GRE-ish power for like $450 to $500. Let's just be real, okay? If AMD brings these cards out, even at the higher end, $600, $500, those are still very potent, powerful cards. I do kind of believe that this generation of GPUs, both Nvidia and AMD, are literally going to try to rely heavily on software upgrades to bring more performance. If you really look at it right now, you know, with the current stack that's coming out, the 5090 being the highest level card, the 9070 being the highest AMD card, both of these cards are shooting for performance levels that are already more than sufficient. If you look at it, okay, I know I give the 4080 a hard time. I mean, 256-bit bus. Come on, guys. Let's look at this realistically. Yes, obviously, in the real world, you would be looking at probably if game engines and stuff were like literally keeping pace, you would probably be at, those would be definitely 1440p cards. I stress that all the time just because of the fact that I think a lot of other content creators and a lot of other people, they put so much emphasis on these cards being so much better than what they really are, just due to the fact that the cost is so high. Nobody wants to pay $1,100, $1,200 for a freaking 1440p card. That just doesn't even sound realistic. But 1440p is not bad. 1440p is actually at like, I think we're peak 1440p right now. We're getting 1440p at what is it, like up to 480 frames a second or 240 frames? I mean, that is good. 1440p, native 1440p with maximum settings, with full-on ray tracing and all of that stuff, that's kind of the sweet spot. So when everybody thinks that I'm being mean to the 4080 calling it a 1440p card, no, I'm just being realistic. I'm saying, look, this is the level of card for you to get the whole shebang. If you're trying to play ray tracing at 4K on a 4080, you're having problems. You can try to lie to me. I bought one myself. I know that you're not getting a 4K gaming experience. Maybe on Cyberpunk, I think it was, you could, but not on these newer games, man. These newer games with pad tracing, you're at 1440p, and that's not a bad thing. I'm saying that's not a bad thing, but if you look at price-wise, and you're looking at like $1,200, and it's basically 1440p with all of the fixings and all of the stuff, that's nobody wants to pay that much. So if you really look at it, if the power levels are coming down and those are coming into like the sweet spot, what I would call, that $500 to $800 range for a GPU, for a good 1440p GPU with the ray tracing and all of that stuff, that's not a bad thing, my friends. That's definitely not a bad thing. I know that prices are getting higher, but at the same time, when you look at like the console prices going up and everything going up, you got a PlayStation 5 Pro that's coming out at $700. And then you look at just how much farther you can push a PC build. I mean, even Digital Foundry was saying the 4070 is freaking a 4K card. So how do you argue with that? Seriously, how do you argue with that? How do you be like, no, dude, they don't know. They're the experts. They're the ones that set the pace. They're the ones that tell us what our visuals should look like and everything else. And when they speak, we must listen because they are the experts. You have bestowed that upon them. When it's like, no, dude, these are just PC guys. They have their own opinions and stuff, whatever, just so they go and talk to developers and they get all these big words and stuff. Like, who cares? They're not experts. They're literally there doing a job. Anybody can learn how to count freaking frames and count freaking stair steps and count resolution, man. Like, anybody can learn how to do that. So it's not like they have a monopoly on things. But when you look at things, man, from my point of view and my perspective, and for what I think is important for gaming, I think that 7900 XTX, 4080 power, that is very, very, very good. Like, don't think for a minute that that is not like upper class gaming experiences. Like, that looks absolutely incredible. To play games at 4K at like 80 frames a second, 60 frames a second, that's not bad. I mean, even a game like Dragon Age using, Dragon Age Velgard, you're playing this game with full ray tracing enabled, getting a good frame rate, playable experience, and dude, this game looks absolutely freaking beautiful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish people would have played it, because then they would have been like, damn, this game looks very good. And you see the artistic, the art style that went into this game. It looks cool. I like it. I think a lot of people would like it too. But yeah, I don't know, guys. 9070 at 7900 GRE power for like $400 to $600 or $400 to $500. That's not bad. 4070 Ti, super power for $400, $500. That's really not a bad deal. And I think that, honestly, guys, I do feel like that kind of a power is definitely going to last you a little while. That's why I feel like, honestly, guys, after we're really sitting down and thinking about things and looking at the way these companies are going, and if that really does pan out, if 9070 really is 4080-ish power, 7900 XTX XT power, that's good. That's good. That is more than sufficient power. I've had my 7900 XTX for a little while. Obviously, I had this 7900 XT for a long time. And when I look at that, when I'm playing like these newer games, like right now, that are coming out right now today, like within this time frame, and comparing that to what I was playing when I was first getting these cards, it's pretty consistent. Like, I'm not seeing like a massive drop off, and you're not even seeing a massive drop off on the Nvidia side. Like, the 4080 is still doing very, very well. Obviously, the path tracing and stuff. Guys, I do not know. Honestly, I know I give Nvidia a hard time, but I don't know if I would literally dock that card for the path tracing, because they can add more bounces and cripple performance. So take that with a grain of salt. As long as you can still get rasterized power out of that, and not be running out of VRAM, stuff like that. 4080 Super is a good card. I would still even recommend buying that, but I kind of would recommend the 4070 Ti Super. I think that is the perfect blend. If you can get a better deal on that, that's a good card. Obviously, we're looking at pretty high power. The most of the market is in the 60 class, and that's the crazy thing, is most of the market's down there, and here we are up here fighting over these high-end cards and stuff, and most people are happy with the 60 series. So yeah, if you really want to get technical, man, like the more that power level comes down, the more playable these games are. That's a bonus for everybody. So all right, my friends, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Now I understand why you didn't want me rushing into things. After Brahm.
It got him killed.
I'm sorry if I was dismissive before.
You didn't know, and look, I say we put it behind us.
I can do that.
Aren't these the old Forrod ruins?
Strife wanted something with enough room.
Elganon failed. shelter for the elves we rescued.